In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some sound recordings that 343 Industries has recently just released. We're going to take a look at what Phil Spencer has to say about the delay for Halo Infinite. We're also going to check in real quick with CNN to talk about their review for the Xbox Series X and S. And then we're going to finish off this video by taking a look at some new Halo Infinite clothing. So stick around. Now, the first article here that we're going to go ahead and take a look at is that 343 visited firing ranges and abandoned sites to record game sounds for Halo Infinite. In a clip, fans can see that people from 343 recording the in-game sounds for weapons, explosions. These also include background sounds, bullet ricochets reloading, and gun cocking sounds, debris falling, and bullets whizzing. Now, this, of course, was uploaded to their Twitter. It was also uploaded to their YouTube page. I made a comment just stating that I really hope that these videos are old and that they're not actually still recording audio for a game that would have been releasing if not been delayed in exactly 4 days as of the recording of this video. It is really cool, though, seeing the amount and effort that went into the audio recordings. The sound design for 343 has always been on point, going back to the original remake of the Halo Combat Evolved game. The audio in that game was superb. It gave a lot of weapons much more depth and realistic sounding weapons. And hopefully, with the amount of care going into the audio design here, we can expect the same thing for Halo Infinite. Now, moving on, we're of course going to go ahead and take a look at what Phil Spencer has to say when it comes to the delay of Halo Infinite. Phil Spencer, boss at Xbox, has been talking with the Spanish Portal TV Vanguard on a wide variety of topics, including the delay of Halo Infinite and, in general, about the launch games that will be available for the Series X and the S. When we asked about the lack of first-party games in the Xbox Series X, Spencer argued that there is no question that fans would have been more excited if there were more exclusive games on day one, but also noted that the Xbox Series X and S is a long-term investment for players. In the long term, you are making an investment in the best ecosystem that you can play, and that's our focus. We would have loved to have had Halo Infinite during launch, and people know that that was our original plan, but I must also be aware of the health and safety of our teams at a time where they are working in an unprecedented situation with hundreds of people trying to play video games from home. I don't want to push them too hard and push them to the point where it affects their health, so I have made the decision based on the health and well-being of our people, and that's what we've done. Spencer also noted that he shows great appreciation for all the third-party titles that come to X and S, and they will have free improvements such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Dirt 5, Gears 5, and Forza Horizon 4. Now, the delay comes from Phil Spencer, supposedly, but it also leaves a lot to be questioned when it comes to exactly what it's like to develop games at 343 Industries. There have been reports at Glassdoor that have basically said that it is a toxic work environment. And of course, with the 3 creative leads leaving the project, it does really raise questions as to what exactly is going on. And with Jason Schreier over on Twitter claiming that he has spoken to development and the developers over at 343, and he can confirm that the game has been having development issues for a very long time. I have to think that it's more than just the unprecedented situation that we're living through right now, and that there is more mismanagement happening at the studio than originally thought. Now, moving on, we're going to take a look at CNN Business here. They reviewed the Xbox Series X, and we're basically jumping down to the end of the article. It says the Xbox Series X arrives on November 10th and costs $500. It's a powerful console with forward-thinking technology that is not all useful yet, but it is still missing a flagship game to wow gamers. That's not uncommon for consoles at launch, but in a time when we'll see if gamers feel compelled to try the newest and flashiest consoles on the Xbox ecosystem over the $299 Xbox Series S, which offers a slower speeds and caps out at a lower 1440p resolution. In its current condition, it may need to do more than win over fans and convince them to upgrade. Our suggestion is wait for Halo Infinite to arrive, which will give us a true sense on whether Microsoft's next generation console is really worth it. Now, honestly, I disagree with them. Halo Infinite's going to be out on PC So it's regardless of whether you buy an Xbox Series X or not, you're not just buying a console now for one game. That may have been how it was in 2001 and 2005, and quite possibly before that as well with Mario and Nintendo and all the other games that launched with those systems. However, when you're buying the Series X, just like Phil Spencer said in the previous article, you're investing in an ecosystem. The Xbox Series X is the only console that's going to be available as of November 10th that you can play every single generation back to the beginning. Now, it's not every single game, obviously, but the fact that you can play original Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and now the new Xbox Series S and X games, it is a huge win. One, for collectors. It is a console that I will eventually buy into. Not just yet, because it is a little too overpriced for me personally. But eventually, having the Xbox and having it being able to play every single game from the Xbox One, and then a huge variety of 360 and original games, is a huge plus. I love collecting games. I love collecting game franchises as well. And the fact now that they don't have to be spread across multiple consoles is absolutely fantastic. Now, moving on to the last little bit of news here. Halo on Twitter recently tweeted out a date with a picture of the Master Chief's helmet that said November 7th, 2020. And at first glance, I thought, okay, we're finally going to get some information on Halo Infinite, maybe a multiplayer reveal. No, they are having a new clothing line, and honestly, it is quite depressing. I really, seeing that, thought we were going to get some information, but then looking closer at it, this is essentially what we're getting. And while the jacket is really cool, and you're able to pick different colors and stuff, you can get a dark color as well. $100 is entirely too much. And this is not the Halo news that we really need right now. If they're going to do anything, I mean, they're going to get hate regardless of whatever they do, unless they're announcing things for the game. It's unfortunate that the only news that we've been seeing for Halo Infinite is through snack deals with Butterfingers and cookies and Monster Energy drinks, and now this new clothing gear line that they've announced. This is, of course, the tweet in question. And going back and looking, it is a deal with BBC Ice Cream, and when clicking on them, you have the Billionaire Boys Club, and it is a clothing line. It's just very disappointing. I don't expect that we're going to get any Halo Infinite news until next year. Halo 4 is going to be releasing on PC here very soon with the MCC, and essentially that's pretty much, I think, all we're going to get. So hopefully they'll be able to show news early in 2021. If not before the end of the year, that would be ideal, but I don't expect it to happen. But as always, don't forget, in order to be part of the conversation and have your voice heard, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think about the Halo Infinite marketing in the comments section down below. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. I upload content weekly. And don't forget to check out the links in the description. I've got my social media, and of course, support for the channel is there as well. But until next time, everyone, thank you all for joining me here today, and I'll see all of you in the next video.